This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 596 from March 25th, 2019. Ghosts of Sushi.
California style, like Boston. Ooh.
Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me, as always, is Moonpair.
Hello.
And special guest for the next couple of weeks from the community is Monkey Senior.
Hey there.
Quick couple of notes here at the beginning. I'm sick, so if I sound really out of it or I just sort of die at a certain point, just heads up for everyone. We just recorded the last, if you're a patron, patreon.com/E1M1, the ones or numbers, just finished up our most recent episode of, or most recent game for We Rogue Like It. And then the scientists came together and we ranked it. So that will be coming to patrons this week, and then in, it's like 2 weeks, will be coming to everybody's. And the announcement for the next game is in there. Go listen to it for checking that out. I think we have... Do we have Old Dog New Flicks coming out this week?
I honestly don't know. It's completely up to you. It's the last Friday of the month, so yeah it'll be this Friday.
Yeah, I just opened up the calendar.
I thought we had one Friday left.
Yeah. It's this long month snuck up on us.
Yeah.
So Old Dog New Flicks will be coming out this week, and I think that's all of it, so let's get into what you've been playing, Moonpair.
Okay, so we're going to start with the second time I've ever played a Switch.
Okay.
We are going to talk about Peace, Death.
Okay.
Which essentially is... Yeah, I actually really like the title because it's kind of interesting. It's a... I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. It's a simplified Papers, Please.
Okay.
So, you are a Reaper, you don't have any food, you need money for food, so you go and do your day job, which is you are sending people to heaven or hell. Dead simple. You sit at the balance, and someone will appear in front of you, and then depending on criteria, you send them left to send them to hell, you send them right to send them to heaven.
Okay, much like Tinder.
Yes, much like Tinder. Swipe right for heaven, swipe left for hell.
Exactly.
So, essentially, someone pops in front of you, someone appears, and based on the criteria you're given, you send them one way or the other. You are working for the Four Horsemen.
Okay.
I did not mute my phone.
Caller, turn down your radio.
Yep. So, you're working for the Four Horsemen, and then basically between each level, you are given missions by them. It's like, oh, you do my work today as well? And I'll give you this bonus rep for me. And these two horsemen are working on a plot together. And if you foil their plot, you'll get bonus rep for me, but lose rep for those two horsemen. So you're working with death, famine, war, and...
Pestilence?
Yes. So you're doing different things for all of the horsemen. You can buy upgrades, you can buy one-time things. It starts very simple. It's, here is a human, here is a demon. Demons go left. Humans go right.
Right.
Nice and simple. Then the second level is like, oh, but now Lucifer's got his mind on the game, so he's given demons human shape, but they have horns. So
okay.
Humans with horns, they go left. Humans without, they go right. And then it's, oh, by the way, now people have weapons. So if they have a weapon, either a bladed or a firearm, they go to hell. Everyone else goes to heaven. So then you're looking for demons, horns, stuff like that. They all go left. Now they have a blood stain on their chest.
Wow.
And then it gets more interesting because like now these people are wearing hats. So you have to hit X button to take off the hat to see if they have horns to send them to heaven or hell.
Wow.
So then it becomes this very much a papers, please thing, except instead of having to, like, select the papers and read through all the different things and do, like, mental math on all of the different stats, it's literally a visual papers, please, where it's just like, does this person have one of the triggers to send them to hell? Yes, hit left. If you make a mistake, the elevators get slower, which slows down your work rate. So then you're sending people to hell, but you can't send somebody that quick because it's slowed down because you've sent too many good people to hell. It's a little distracting because they have used a lot of images of famous people or characters. So far, I've sent Doctor Who to hell. I've sent the dude to heaven. That's the Big Lebowski's the dude.
Right.
I sent him to heaven. Because it's a game, I had to do it. Donald Trump went to heaven as well.
Right.
I'm pretty sure Gabe Newell went to hell because he had a knife, which made me laugh hysterically.
That's really on brand.
Yeah. But it starts popping up with these, like, people, and it's like, I know that person. I know that 2D representation of this real-life human being.
Right.
And it's kind of genius because it distracts you from actually doing your job. It's like, wait, I know that person. Right. I'm going to wait an extra 2 seconds and see who it is. Right. Because they'll all say, like, little catchphrases as well. It's like, okay. Like, when the dude showed up, he's like, yeah, I do abide. It's like,
that's all right.
Really?
That works.
Okay. So, that's fine. You go to heaven, that's fine. But, honestly, it's not a bad game. It's actually really fun. It's a very simple sit down, play it. It's a minute or two per level. Control-wise, it's fine. I like the art style. It's a pixelated art style, but it's not like 8-bit. It's more modern-day pixelated where you can very clearly see who the people are. But it's a good game, and it's a small game, and I'm pretty sure it's relatively cheap because it's on the e-store, and it's probably a couple of bucks. It's a good game. Nice little distraction from everyday life kind of thing. So, if you're interested in something like Papers, Please, but maybe a bit more simplified, then swipe right for heaven and download that thing as quick as you can because, honestly, it's just fun. And it does the requisite heaven and hell noises when you send them as well.
Nice.
So,
yeah,
it's always a nice touch.
Only $5. Now looking at the cover art, I understand the title because instead of Peace Death, it's Peace Death, like saying peace to death. I see. Yeah, that. I might have to pick this up. That looks. The art style is good. This looks cool.
Yeah, it's a fun little game. And my only other game this week, because it has literally destroyed every moment of my time when I've been playing video games, and I'm pretty sure it's probably the same for Boston, and I know Monkey's been playing it as well, I believe.
Yep.
It's Tom Clancy's The Division 2.
Yeah,
let's do a level check, first and foremost. 23 as of an hour ago.
19.
I think I'm 20 as well.
Okay, so we're all roughly in the same kind of range. Yo, The Division 2 is really good.
Very.
Yeah, and I wrote a lot of notes about Division 2 this week, but I think the one thing that I think is probably my biggest takeaway from Division 2 is I feel like every time I'm playing, even if I'm only playing for 30 minutes or I like get a chance to sit down for 2 hours, I always feel like I'm progressing. I'm doing something, like I'm capturing a point or unlocking a safe house, or I'm saving a prisoner or something, or even escorting some cash to somewhere. You know, I always feel like I never feel like, well, I played for half an hour and all I did was like run from one place to another, and now I ran out of time. Like, that stinks. Yeah.
It's really, really good about that. It's really good about the progression. Like, I mean, I've pretty much wiped out the east side of the map. Like, I've done all those eastern things. I'm now on the northwest, making my way down that side now.
Mm-hmm.
I have done 2 Dark Zone missions, 2 Dark Zone tutorial missions, and I was really lucky because I actually went into the Dark Zone for a little bit just to see if it was going to be as griefy as Division 1 was, because Division 1 got to a point where people had themselves spec'd so they were essentially unbeatable, which was a nightmare.
Yeah, Division 1 I feel like had a reputation. Part of why I was so nervous to go into the Dark Zone is because of Division 1's reputation for the Dark Zone, where it's like, here's the really great loot, and here's where you're going to get massacred time and time again, and you won't be able to get that loot out.
Yeah, well, I was playing with Sierad Sparky today, community member Sierad Sparky, and I was explaining to him, like, in Division 1, you were graded on tiers, like your gear score tier. And what people would do is, let's say if the cutoff was 500, people would get to 499, but they would min-max that 499, so they had the best weapon, the best whatever they could to stay at 499.
So they were doing it like Forza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they would just wreck shop, and it's like, okay, well, there's literally nothing I can do against you. You've got the perfect build, the perfect setup, perfect weapons.
Right.
And you and your 3 buddies are rolling around the Dark Zone just killing fools. That's fine. I'm going to come back when you're not here, hopefully.
Right.
But no, I did roll around a little bit. I killed a couple of people, cleared a couple of landmarks. It's a very interesting back and forth, it looks like now in the Dark Zone, where there are terminals you can hack to choose to go rogue.
Yep.
Okay.
And by doing so, you now get rogue-specific missions in the Dark Zone. But if you die as a rogue, you lose XP in the Dark Zone.
Your Dark Zone XP, right?
Yes.
Right.
Whereas it looks like if you die when you're not rogue, you don't lose XP. So there is a cost-benefit ratio of going rogue versus whatever.
Do you get better gear if you go rogue? I did one Dark Zone run, and I ran into absolutely 0 other players. Was
that the top right one when you first unlocked it?
Yeah.
That's a tutorial mission. You won't run into it.
No, I went in separately. Because I did the tutorial and I was like, well, this seems fine. It's just like another area. And I went back in because I have been a little anxious about going into the Dark Zone because it is... I've been playing Division 2 purely solo, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. And I had some hesitation about going into it where there was some PvE and PvP, because I've stayed away from the PvP mode so far. I need to go try it. But yeah, I ran into it separately and was like, all right, I'm ready to deal with other people, rogue or whatnot, and no one was there. So
yeah, I'm kind of lucky because when I went in, it was very much the same case. I went in, I was like, oh, there's this computer on the wall, it says hack, I'm just going to hack it, and it immediately sent me rogue. And I was like,
oh wow,
well, I'm dead. I'm just going to hide in this corner and wait for people to come and kill me just so I can get rid of this thing. But no, nobody came. My rogue timed out, and then I went and cleared a couple of landmarks, got an extraction away, and I was like, okay, that's not too bad. They do have Dark Zone specific perks available at the White House.
Yeah, I've unlocked 2 of those.
Yeah, and they are very clearly spec'd in a I am rogue, I am not rogue kind of way.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to choose which path you can go down. Gear-wise, I don't think it improves what drops if you go rogue, but I know you get like double XP essentially if you do go rogue. Like it gives you a big boost in XP stuff. So I may foot around with the Dark Zone more, but unless there's an achievement tied to it, which I know there is one, I will be pretty much okay with staying away from the Dark Zone.
Yeah, maybe at least until end game.
No, really then it gets really scary.
Oh, yeah.
I've been actually spending a lot of time in the Dark Zone. And yeah, I don't know. It's weird because everyone I've, like on the Discord and stuff, whenever they're talking about it, everyone says they've never really seen anyone, but each time I've gone in there, I've seen at least one person. And there's a bunch of times where I seen a bunch of squads, like squads of 3. And like I was saying on the Discord, there was one time where a squad of 3 actually surrounded me when I was doing a landmark, and then they proceeded to go rogue and kill me, and I was like, oh, whatever. And then a completely other time, the same thing happened, but then they invited me to their party, and I was like, oh, okay, sure. and then the landmark we did right after that, I got 2 gold equipment. So I was just like, maybe I should party up with more people more often. So yeah, like I think it's really fun just running through there.
Yeah, I should try and get a group together to go in there and see how that does instead. There's something about, for me, I'm actually, I know this is a fairly unpopular opinion, I really enjoy how tough the Division 2 is solo. It's really hard, and I like, inching through these missions and kind of using all my skills and, hunkering down in an area and making sure I wait until all the enemies group up and toss a grenade on them so I can take out 2 or 3 to begin with. I feel like I can be strategic, and when I've played with, a full party, a lot of it is just sort of like SEAL Team 6. Like, we're just slowly moving forward in just a hail of bullets, which is fine, but...
yeah. Well, I mean, minusing out the fact that Boston is a masochist, which we all know.
That's fair, yeah.
I mean, you're right. It's a very, very tough game. Have you done any bounties solo?
Yeah, I've done 2 of them. The ones where you, clear out an area and it's like, oh, go kill this, meat cleaver, or whatever their names are, the Spice Lords.
Yeah, when you do the settlements and as a reward for the project it gives you one.
Yeah,
those are the ones. Okay, if you ever see the guy shuffling a deck of cards just hanging around in the world, he will give you a bounty. He'll be a green icon, so he's friendly. Doesn't have a name, it's just 3 question marks, and he's just standing there shuffling a deck of cards.
Nice.
And he's like, oh, I got a bounty for you if you want it. Feel free to go and do it, and then feel free to die over and over again.
I am actually excited to get into this deck of 52 stuff, because I have seen Massive saying, we did put 52 bosses in there, and once you've cleared out the deck, you can just restart it and go hunt more of them down.
Yeah, so earlier today, myself, my wife, and C-Rad were all playing. Or rather, it was myself and my wife, and we saw him. And I don't know if this is our fault. I don't know if this is something we did by being stupid, but we found him while we were running towards a safe house. Okay. So we both talked to him at the same time, and he dropped 2 bounties, essentially. It looked like he gave 1 for her and 1 for me in the same location, which was about a level higher than where I'm at.
Okay.
And then C-Red Sparky jumps in. So we're like, yeah, there's 3 of us. We'll go over there. We'll clear out this area. It will be fine. We ended up playing Corpse Run Hopscotch because if you die and the team wipes, the bounty's gone. And from what I've seen, the bounty wipes, and then you have to come back to a later date. So we ran in there and realized we were in the middle of a gang war between 3 different factions.
No.
They were all so much higher level or damage output than I was capable of. They were putting us down in 2-3 shots.
Jeez.
So it just became this case of, well, okay, I'm down. I'm going to stem my bleeding. You guys are dead. You respawn at the safe house. Run back to me. And then when you guys are back, if you can't pick me up, I'll respawn and then do the run myself. So it's literally this relay race of death as we'd run there, kill a couple of people, get killed. One person stays on the ground to keep the mission active. The other 2 run there, so on and so forth. And it was just this constant cycle of us.
It's like every time I try and get a supply drop.
So yeah, it was this constant... You will not hear any arguments from me. I hate supply drops.
Yeah, they're just too many enemies. I like the idea, but I clear out all the enemies and I start opening one chest, and then there's a whole nother wave of enemies. It's like, you guys gotta chill. There's no one else with me. It's just me.
My favorite so far has been the Elite Blank. So I took on an Elite Patrol, which is just a bunch of guys patrolling, except they were all gold.
Oh, yikes.
Ooh. And then when you wiped them out, they summoned 3 more waves of gold people.
Oh my god.
And then we had an Elite, the supply cache, when they're carrying supplies from one location to another. Correct. We had an Elite one of them. that was right outside a mission start zone.
Oh no!
Which was the mission we were trying to do. So then we ended up with these elites protecting this supply crate. The start of the mission, people coming out of that, and then every time we'd wipe out like a wave, it's like more enemies incoming. It's just like,
oh god,
how many people are you gonna? I ran out of LMG ammo.
Wow.
And you have 800 rounds.
Jeez.
It's the Division 2 is amazing.
Yeah.
It feels like Ubisoft have taken everything that they were critiqued fairly or not fairly for Division 1 and have learned a lesson from it. And people on my Twitter timeline now are starting to hit the end game, and I'm hearing a lot of people have nothing but positive things to say about the end game for this game too.
Nice.
So,
yeah, the one thing
interested.
One thing that I unlocked that I actually really like, and I wish that more of these games put in here, cough cough Destiny 2, is the shooting range. I like that, and it is not just like shoot these dummies with your things. It's like, here's the DPS one, here's the dot area, here's the pure normalized one. Like I really dig that they. I wish you could have it there early on, especially when you're. I feel like early on, even picking up a gun that does like 50 more damage is a pretty incredible upgrade.
Yeah,
and I would like to see that in the firing range, but it unlocks a little bit too late. But that's such a cool idea.
Yeah. I mean, the story's junk. Who cares about the story at this
It's
point?
non-existent, really. And to me, I think it's a real missed opportunity, because I think there's a really good opportunity for them to ask, like, am I the good guy as an agent? Am I doing the right thing by fighting fellow Americans? What am I really protecting? Like, what am I really doing? But the like when you open up that one settlement, you lift up that hatch and you go underground. And
the university settlement.
Yeah, the university one.
Yeah. So
far is my favorite cutscene, because you go in, and the other, I play as a woman. The other woman in the game is like, I'm going to go to this place and clear them out. And she then turns to you, like 2 lines later, it's like, you know what you need to do. And then stops you and says, kill them all. And it's like, that's really the only cutscene. It's like, okay, I mean, we could explore some stuff here, explore some themes, but I appreciate that you're not even trying.
Have either of you guys rescued a certain person of interest yet?
I did, yeah.
I don't think so.
I'm deliberately referring to it as person of interest because # spoilers in this non-story based game.
Is it a main story or is it a side quest?
It's a main story.
Okay.
Person moves back to the White House after you have rescued them. That cutscene was hilarious and terrible in the funniest ways. And it shows me just how little they care about the story. I mean, they're trying. It feels like they've got tracing paper and they've written a really deep story and then traced the outline of it and then just like make what you can out of that. Like, it's.
I did actually run into something that I was really interested in. There was a, how on the map it has those question marks for like, here's a random event. There was a question mark that was blue, and it said like, respond to an agent call. And I left it there for a while because I thought it was a fellow player, but it kept staying there. So I went over to go check it out. And there was a mission where I'm fighting this incredibly way super higher enemy that's way stronger than I was. And after he damaged me a little bit, he basically locked me down and then ran away. And I was sort of like, well, now I'm interested in this. Like, this is some stuff I can get into.
You're talking about guy on the table with the overhead projector?
Yep. Yeah, that mission.
Okay. Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. I think it's on the east side, but Boston's right. It's like a random event that you just happen to come across.
Yeah, it's like on the northeastern side.
I think I have it on my map. I just haven't gone to it yet.
Yeah, it's cool. It was only like maybe 5 minutes, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, now this is this is something I could get into. This is pretty cool.
Still not going to forgive them for our game is not political BS.
Yeah.
Considering some of the collectibles you can get, I did just collect one which is all about the President of the United States talking to the President of Mexico about the crisis at the border and how the people from El Paso are trying to head south to head away from the disease.
Oh, interesting.
And they were trying to make a proposal to make it more amicable for both of them. It's like, don't start with this I'm not political, but you deliberately reference border stuff.
Border security.
In 2019.
Right.
You don't get to say I'm not political and have that kind of stuff in there.
And the intro is certainly a thing, too.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Thank you, Ubisoft. Because I was nervous about The Division 2.
Mm-hmm.
I was. Like, how many times have we seen companies take a really solid idea and then kind of just break it by
just
the time the second one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they've done good. To me, this is the sequel The Division deserved, especially Boston, you were talking last week about how playing The Division 2 made you realize that you should have played The Division 1.
Yeah, totally.
Like, that's how I feel this game is going to be with a lot of people. It's like, yeah, that's right. You should have, and you didn't. And now you all suck because you all missed New York in the snow.
I should have jumped in when 1.8 dropped. When everyone said, like, all right, this is the one. I should have just hopped in. I should have done it.
Yeah. But, no. I mean,
It's so good.
It's really, really good.
100%.
It's worth mentioning, if you're a fan of impossible physics in games, someone threw a Molotov at my wife while we were attempting to take out these 2 boss bounties. And I'm not kidding, he probably threw it about 200 feet.
I saw C-Red Sparky clipped it and put it on Twitter. I retweeted it on the TVGP account. It is that guy's got a cannon.
My wife actually is having issues with the game, which is kind of sad. She's having audio bugs and graphical glitches and stuff like that. So far for me, I'm not having anything.
I had one graphical glitch where I was in the sewers and I walked into one of the big rooms. You know, they have like a big generator room. I walked into that and a bunch of enemies came out. It wasn't like the Chainsaw Charlie guy, which I unfortunately have not run into yet. But it was like 5 or 6 guys came out and the floor disappeared. So I couldn't figure out where to go to get into cover, and they killed me, and I couldn't find a way back. And I was like, man, like the one time the floor disappears is this really cool sudden combat scenario.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much everything I've got to say in Division 2.
Yeah, Monkey,
anything else from you guys?
You want to add?
Have you guys done any of the crafting? Like crafting weapons and stuff?
A little bit, yeah.
So I use marksman rifles, and the one you can craft there is so much better than anything anything that has ever dropped. It's like 3,000 more damage than anything that has ever dropped for me. I was just like, why can't like a purple drop from it? I don't know, because they're the crafting ones are always blue, and it's just so much stronger. And then
yeah, they're always blue and they're always at your level as well, which is always super useful, because then if you find yourself behind in weapons, you can just go get one to good replace. But my wife is a marksman rifle person, both for lever action or bolt action and semi-auto, so I will pass that along to her. I've been doing all of the, like, crafting wise, I've done all of the mods and stuff because I adore mods. Like, they're really, really handy. But I've not done the weapons so far because I don't have an LMG craft yet.
Yeah, I wonder. I feel like I just picked up an LMG. I picked up an auto rifle pretty early on, and that one has been carrying me for a while because every couple levels I'll just swing up by, just make a new one.
The Police M4?
Yep.
That's the one. Just before we move on, I've got one more game I want to just throw a quick shout out for if everybody's done with Division.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Monkey?
I think I'm good.
Okay. So Dead by Daylight has released 2 DLCs recently. Dead by Daylight, not licensed. They're going back to their unlicensed stuff, and they're doing a pretty good job of coming up with very inventive killers and survivors. For
These are their original characters?
Yeah. Like the last killer was a guy in a hood, very much if you've seen the weird... What was the horror movie about a slasher who's in a theme park recently, like a Halloween-themed theme park?
I don't know.
Wish I could remember the name of it, but I can't. But it's just, basically it's a guy in a hoodie. I haven't played him yet because we don't own that DLC, but they just dropped another one. She basically looks like a priestess. She's got the dangly smoke chain things that you see in churches, like where they're walking down the aisles swinging the churches. Swinging whatever that thing is called.
A censer.
Yes, thank you. Why didn't I know that? It's from Isaac.
Yeah, it's the only reason I know what it's called.
But yes, the problem is hair special. So I have a thing about vomiting.
Yes.
Which is to say, everybody has a thing about something or another, be it touching your eyeballs or, teeth in movies is another one of my big hashtag triggers.
Yeah.
Vomiting is a big thing for me. So if my wife is feeling sick and she is about to vomit, she will tell me so I can put my headphones on and turn whatever I'm listening to as high as I possibly can so I don't hear it.
Are you one of those like vomit by contagion sort of people? Like you hear someone throwing up and you'll get sick?
Exactly. It's the sound just triggers it in my brain. And also the audio noise, that wet, solid splatter noise.
Right.
And I don't even have to elaborate. That 3 words perfectly describes it. So this new killer, his special ability is to vomit all over everybody.
No.
And she causes contagion, which means that people infect other people. They infect the generators they're trying to repair, and so on and so forth.
Generators
I
are
don't
thrown
know.
up.
I don't know if I could ever play Dead by Daylight again.
Oh, man.
Because it looks gross.
Yeah. That's one of those things where, like, I get what they're going for, especially for a horror thing, but stop it with the people throwing up horror movies. Come on.
Yeah, I think I'm done with it. And so I'll have to give it a try, but if I suddenly start throwing up all over myself, my couch is green, so I'm okay.
Send the cleaning bill over to Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, that's pretty much all I've been playing. So
over
I'm
to
guessing
you,
we're
Monkey.
Gonna go back direction.
Yeah.
It's neat. What have I been playing? The Swords of Ditto. I know you guys just recorded. I really like it, but this week I did my 3rd clear, I think.
Okay.
So the way I've been doing it was I did the tutorial, I died, and then my first run I died some random way, and then the 3 runs after that I cleared it, and
jeez.
Yeah, I mainly attribute that to the Loco Roco sticker. That sticker is so overpowered in that game.
Wait,
you just roll forever.
So this is the one that Boston mentioned that I didn't have access to, and I'm so mad.
Yeah.
Are you playing it on PlayStation 4, by the way?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's why I didn't get it.
Yeah, maybe we're on easy mode.
Yeah. Well, I'm playing it on the PC, and Loco Roco is a Sony owned
true
thing, so
but yeah,
I'm mad. But go ahead.
The boss room for that 3rd clear was so crazy. So in the middle of it, she spawns, or how far did you guys get? I don't know. Like,
we both
how many
finished
clears?
it once. Yeah.
Just once? Okay. In that fight, she spawns 2 swords.
Oh,
like the enemy swords you have to fight. And it's so hard.
Man.
And the what is it called? The effects, the daily effects that affect the dungeon.
Yeah.
One of them was you can't eat, but your health regenerates over time. So it was funny. No. So I was just kept rolling around the room, just like constantly. Every time my health got like below half, it was just like, this is taking so long. And so good. The other sticker that I have is the umbrella sticker. It prevents any range damage. So that's like, yeah, those two combined is just so helpful. I don't know if you guys are gonna keep playing it after this.
I might have to now.
Yeah. No, I mean, okay. So my question for you then is, what's your favorite Toy of Legend?
Any of the ones with the fire, with the fire sword. Like fire is so helpful. I think there's 3 of them. There's 2 or 3 of them.
What about the additional items? Like, did you like the drone? Did you like the arrow?
I like the foot. I don't know.
Wait, I didn't even. I didn't.
Yeah, it's just a giant foot that comes down from the sky, and it stuns in an AoE.
That's really good.
Pretty good.
Wow.
It's so useful, and the laser ring, that's a pretty good one too.
Yep.
And for mine, I infused it with fire, so it's it was really good, and it's really cool because with that ring, when I did it changed the look of the ring, like the actual, how it's the icon in the top left of the screen. It's like it changed to a volcano, and I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool
that's
touch.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a nice touch. Yeah, I think I was talking to Boston about this last week. The Conker will forever be my favorite one. Like the big green ball that you just swing over your head and smash it down. It's just like, yep. Giant AoE and stun damage. I'll take that every time.
That sounded cool.
Then the only other game I've been playing other than Division 2 is Apex Legends. Just a little bit. Just because the Battle Pass came out this week. And the new character, I guess. But I don't...
Yep.
I didn't get enough currency to unlock them. But yeah...
Did you pick up the Battle Pass?
I did, yeah. Just the base version of it.
I feel like I've seen a lot of people say, like, oh, it's not worth $10. It's like, the cosmetics aren't great. How do you feel about it?
I personally don't mind that. Like, I agree they're kind of uninspired rewards, because a lot of it's just like badges and the stat trackers for each character. Right. But I don't mind it because this is the first time I've spent money on Apex Legends, and I've played it for so many hours. So it's basically been like $10 for hundreds of hours that I've played. So that's fine for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the old adage of, hey, this game is free. Here is $10 for my already, for me personally, like 40 hours that I've put in. Here is a $10 tip. Thank you. Keep it up, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. And the other complaint that I've seen people is that it takes so long to level, like the rewards for the Battle Pass. And even then, like, because a lot of people are saying, oh, they'll never be able to get to, I think max level is 110. And it's like, for me, I know I'm not going to get it either, but it's fine for me because those rewards are like, it makes them that more special, I guess. And then whenever I see someone have that, I was like, oh, that person, it's like, they played a lot, I guess. I don't know.
Well, and they could have like double and triple XP weekends or stuff too. Yeah. So it might be possible for one of those weekends to just say, all right, I'm gonna tuck in Apex Legends this weekend and just kind of get my battle pass up a lot. But
I mean, this is also their first battle pass. Like they will inevitably go and tweak things from here outwards. I mean, Rocket League had a very solid like Rocket Pass the first time it came out with one. It was a good deal, but once you hit the level cap, that was it. It was fine. You hit the level cap, that's fine. The most recent ones is like, oh, once you hit the level cap, you keep going and you get bonus drops for going over the top of the level cap of the new battle pass.
Yeah.
So they'll tweak it, and I'm sure they'll change it and adjust everything as they go.
Yeah.
So, I don't get what the complaints are. The game is free. If you don't want to play, if you don't want to pay the $10, don't pay the $10.
Yeah. I feel like because Apex Legends is so popular and it's such a good game, I feel like for a lot of people those expectations are high for like they're going to come out with a battle pass just like Fortnite and it's going to be incredible. It's like, yeah, I mean, Fortnite's first battle pass wasn't that great. So like
no, they didn't even have the Battle Royale stuff when they introduced the pass in Fortnite.
That's true.
It's like, here is a Founders Pack. It's $30. You get a reward every day that you log in.
Right.
Or your pass expired. Buy another one and have another 30 days worth of drops. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, that's not a great deal.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it for me. That's it for me this week.
I'm gonna continue charting my troubles with the Microsoft Wireless Display app.
Oh no, no, Boston, no.
I had like 3 hours the other day to just sit there and try and figure it out. I said, all right, I got my Steam Link up and running, but that's the problem with it. There is like I don't have everything on Steam because we have so many stores now. I know you can add stuff to Steam, but like Destiny 2 is an example, because that was a great way for me to test launching stuff that isn't in Steam. I was fired that up, and in Steam Link, it would show my desktop, it would open up Battle.net, and then nothing would happen. So I was looking for a different solution and kept thinking Steam Link is fine for Steam stuff. Wireless Display app would be really great. And I couldn't get it to work at all. And I'm doing like my PC is here on the second floor, and sort of down below me is the living room where all my consoles are. And it was very much this thing of, okay, well, I'll put this one wired and this one wireless. Okay, that doesn't work. And I'll flip it. And then both of them wireless, both of them wired. And like I was doing as many permutations as you can. I got it to the point where my Windows 10 machine was able to broadcast to stuff on my network and then could never find the Xbox. So what I did was I actually stumbled, totally by accident, I stumbled on this other streaming service, and this is really, really cool. And this is the one I'm going to work on for a while here. It's called Moonlight. You can find it at moonlight-stream.org. Basically what it does is it's available on everything, Android, iOS, PCs. I'm using both the one that's on iOS and we'll get to in a minute, the one that's set up for Raspberry Pi. But basically what it does is if you have an NVIDIA card, here's the asterisk, it hooks into the NVIDIA Game Stream software that's running on your PC. Again, if you have an NVIDIA card, and it pretends that your device is an NVIDIA Shield.
Interesting.
And why I tried it out, I downloaded it on my iPhone. I have an iPhone 8 here. I downloaded it, I was like, well, let me give it a shot. Set it up. It's wirelessly on my phone was running 1080p 60 frames to my PC here. And I was like, well, that's not what I was expecting. Okay.
No.
And it will run with pretty much any game that GameStream supports. It supports a couple of hundred games. There are some there that aren't supported, but it's not that big of a deal. So this morning I was playing around with the Raspberry Pi version. I had a spare Raspberry Pi sitting here. Got all that stuff set up, and I wanted to hopefully at least pair it and try it before we started recording this. I wasn't able to. I got to the point where everything was set up, and I was going to pair it, and then ran out of time. So Moonlight seems, if you have an NVIDIA card, seems like it's pretty straightforward. Like my phone, I just fired up Moonlight. It found my PC automatically, and I clicked on it, and then it said, all right, put this pin onto your desktop, put it in, and said, all right, here are all the games you can fire up, like Warframe, Binding of Isaac, Diablo, Apex Legends, like all this stuff are games we know you already own. click on Apex Legends, it fires it up on my PC, and then streams it over to my device. And it's just works.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
I just want to rewind a second.
Sure.
You talked about the Steam Link. You would load Destiny. It would show the desktop. You'd load Destiny, then nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do that for every single game, or for just Destiny?
It was doing that for Battle.net games, because like it has to load the Battle.net launcher, and then usually it will just start the game after it opens the launcher, because I don't have the launcher running all the time. It would like load the launcher, and then it's supposed to just launch Destiny 2 after that, and it wouldn't. So I don't know if I had the launcher running already, if it would do that, or if it's just some weirdness with Battle.net.
Yeah, I've got a sneaking suspicion that might be a Battle.net thing, because I used the Steam Link 2 stream Swords of Ditto to my TV downstairs. Used a 360 controller on that, and I was playing it from Twitch, not from Steam, but from actual Twitch.
Right.
So usually, I mean, I've got a mouse and keyboard downstairs by my TV, so whenever I launched the Steam Link, I just exit big picture, and I've just got my desktop in front of me. It's like, yeah, that's what I want anyway.
Gotcha.
So
right.
I just used that mode instead. But yeah, Swords of Ditto work fine for that stuff. But no, the Moonlight sounds incredible.
Yeah, I'm hoping this week to get some time to set up. Optimally, what I'd really like is whenever this Raspberry Pi that I have, whenever I turn it on or whenever I have it running, it just has Moonlight open, and I can just choose my desktop and then do whatever I want. So, so far promising, and it's free, which is even better. It seems it's open source, which is an incredible bonus. So moonlight-stream.org seems super cool. I'm excited to play around with it more.
Everyone's making notes of that right now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know how I haven't heard about this. It's been, they've been developing it for a year and a half, and it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, okay, let me download it and try it. And it's like, oh crap, it actually works. Okay, cool. Like that's never happens.
Yeah.
And last thing, I played a little bit of Destiny 2. Finally did Tier 2 of Reckoning. So I have upgraded my synthesizer. So now I can run, I've geared up enough that I can start running Tier 3. There was a good set of modifiers yesterday, and I did a couple runs, but I couldn't get a group together that was really getting a good synergy. So I haven't done Tier 3 yet. I was thinking about it when I was making notes for this week's episode, that it's impressive that there's almost too much stuff to do in Destiny 2 now, because every activity has, every 4 days it will have a daily, and every week it has a weekly, and each one of those gives powerful rewards, but that means that there's like a planetary one, there's Vanguard, Crucible, Gambit, and like Gambit has 3 different options. And like there's like 10 or 12 things you can do per week that each takes a little bit of time, not even counting the raids, that gets you all this stuff. And it's kind of nice that Destiny is in such a healthy position now that not only is there too much stuff to do, but there's always something for you to do no matter what activity you want to do. Like, you just want to do PvP, you have a good weekly, you have a revolving weekly playlist, and just like Gambit, there's plenty of stuff to do there, and so on and so forth. And it's nice that Destiny 2 is in such a better position now than it was even a year ago, where it's like, cool, I spent about an hour, and now I'm done with my weekly stuff. Okay, I just go play more stuff. All right. So 2 thumbs up on Bungie. You're making some dumb decisions lately, but the game overall is good. And I would talk about some of their decisions, but it's so inside baseball at this point that I'll just go off and do my own Destiny solo show and be like, I can't believe they're getting rid of subscriber bounties, and just argue with myself for an hour. But because I've mostly been playing Division 2, that's all I've been playing this week. So let's take a break. let's talk about the releases for the week of March 26th, 2019. Final Fantasy VII comes out on the Switch.
Where's my 8?
Yeah. Put another Roman numeral 1 on there, and I don't know. Hopefully some year Square will say, this is the year of Final Fantasy VIII. It's coming out on everything.
Don't they have to... Didn't they lose the the code for 8 or something? Isn't that
that's
probably
that we've heard, is that the source code for 8 is completely gone.
Yeah.
But the fact that I think this year was its 20th anniversary and they didn't even talk about it, kind of...
It's a real bummer. 8 is so good. Go play 8. MLB The Show 19 comes out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Sports are not our thing, so sorry. Nope. That seems good.
Sports can be my thing.
Right.
Just not right now. Division 2.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered comes out for PS4 and Xbox One. That's still a thing. If you have the... Let me see if I remember this right. If you have the Odyssey Season Pass, you get this for free.
That's correct.
Yeah. So it might actually be cheaper to buy that on sale than to buy it outright.
Yeah, but you also get the DLC for Odyssey, which is a quality game.
Yes.
That everybody should be playing.
That's right. Odyssey is good. Yoshi's Crafted World comes out on the Switch. I've always been interested in these games, and they have all come out on the Wii U after I was done playing it. So,
this is a temptation.
Yeah,
because it's a blue sky game. It's cute. It's fluffy. It's Yoshi. It might be the Viva Pinata of 2019.
There you go. Bold words, but we'll see. We'll see come top 10 time. Yeah. And lastly, Tropico 6 might be coming out on PC. The release date is out there at the end of the week, probably, but there's sort of a lot of misinformation about it. So it's definitely not out on other stuff, but it might be out on PC this week. Maybe.
Okay, so now you need to run this down because I am duty bound.
Sure.
Due to the other person who lives in this household, that if there is any news with regards to El Presidente, I need to pass it along to my wife.
Yes,
because I'm duty bound. So, does Tropico 6 come out this week
on PC? Probably.
Is Tropico 6 announced for anything else?
I know it's definitely coming out for PS4 and Xbox One. I believe it's also coming out for Switch, but I cannot say for 100% certainty whether or not El Presidente will be coming out on Switch.
Okay, but the release dates for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 are not this week.
Correct.
They are somewhere down the line.
Yes, at some point. This is one of the weirdest launches we've seen, because usually it's like, all right, PC's coming out this date, a couple months later, consoles are coming out, and then a couple months ago they delayed it until question marks, and that seems like question marks might be this week. So,
okay, I need to pass this on as soon as we are done with the show.
Okay,
because my wife is going to go onto her Xbox store on Friday, be like, Tropico 6.
Yeah, no, not yet.
And then I'll get the brunt of that disappointment.
Get death threats,
so,
inter-house death threats.
Now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to news stories. Top of the pops here. The one that we definitely have to talk about is Google Stadia. This was they had a big press conference about, here's our thing, and it's basically Project Stream that they showed off last year, coming to everything, and it looks like for the TV version, so basically anything that isn't a TV, bring your controller, fire up a web browser, or fire up the app on your phone or whatever. If it is a TV, it's a Google not Fire Stick, Google Chromecast, and then their special controller that they showed.
Which was basically just a controller.
Yeah, it looks like a controller. Looks a little boxy, but it's one of those things where it's like, don't have it in my hand, so it might be super comfortable, but whatever. Like, it looks like... So I'm sure within probably 13 hours after this thing comes out, someone will say, hey, just do this with your Xbox One controller, and the Chromecast will pick it up, and you can just play with that.
Yeah.
The big thing that they're touting here is 1080p, 60 frames, like in Product Stream, except 4K HDR surround sound as well. The rumor that came true that I was sort of surprised about was that if you're watching someone play a game, or they have a clip or something like that, or a save out there, you can actually, let's say you're watching a live streamer, you're watching them play, you can actually click play now and pick up their game exactly where they're at, progress, equipment, everything from right where they're playing, along with someone can like package up their save and post it on Twitter or email it to someone and do stuff like that. So that seems to be primarily what they're pushing is, here's our streaming games thing. It's coming to everything sometime this year.
And it also costs some amount of money.
Yeah, I think everything else is really a question right now. So I think we can probably all agree that tech seems really cool.
Yeah.
I think from a technology standpoint, that seems really cool. Like picking up a game and just firing it up and playing, that all seems great.
Yeah, like the additional bells and whistles they've put on is solid. Like the thing they've got where it's the ability, apparently, you're stuck on this bit of level, you hit a button, you can go to YouTube and find videos of that exact location in that level and figure out where to go. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
This whole thing, and I might be the only negative Nancy here, this is just on live at a more realistic time with some big corporation AI bells and whistles tapped onto it.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I mean, it is game streaming. I think it's probably for the first time we're seeing it from a big company that knows how to do stuff like this. I am expressly discounting PlayStation Now because it is a bad experience. It's just a subpar. PSN is not the place you go for internet speeds or smooth downloading or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think it would have been nice if Google had detailed more stuff. Price is obviously the big thing. Are we paying $10 a month? That might be okay. Are we paying $40 a month? That's probably not going to work.
Yeah.
Bandwidth usage. Some of the early stuff coming out is that it will take 20 gigs an hour, which is wholly unacceptable. Not surprising, but that's too much for anywhere that has a bandwidth cap.
The only way stuff like that works is if Google goes in, kicks down the door of the ISPs and said, our service is exempt from your bandwidth cap.
Right.
Here is a check with a bunch of zeros on. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Have a good day.
Net neutrality, just gets a bomb dropped on it.
Uh-huh.
And I think some of the stuff I've been seeing online has been understandable and frustrating. I think for those that are in areas that don't have good internet connections or internet connections at all, there's been this foot stomping thing of like, well, what am I supposed to do? It's like, well, you can't use it. Like, I feel badly that you can't stream games like this, but that's not an option. Like, it's not probably not going to be an option for me because of bandwidth caps. And even though I have a solid connection and the beta worked really well, I think a lot of people have been asking, I think rightly so, we were talking about this on the break, and I think this is probably the most salient of points is what happens when Google gets bored of it. And I think that is a primary concern, especially if there are... To me, there's two ways this can go. Either, you partner up with Ubisoft and EA and Activision, and you just stream their current library of games. That's fine. If it goes away, like, no one's going to lose anything. But as soon as developers start making games for Stadia, and then it goes away, that's the real problem. Because I think the thing, people are saying, well, what if I don't want to stream games? That's fine. I don't think Netflix hasn't stopped you from buying Blu-rays. Like, Best Buy still stocks Blu-rays. You can go get those. I think, to me, I'm going to treat Stadia like Game Pass. With Game Pass, I don't care about owning these games, because I'm going to play through them once, and I'm going to delete them, and I'm done. And to me, Stadia would be great for that as well, where it's like, I'll play through Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I got through it, and I'm done. All right, like, I'm not going to fire up something like Anthem on there and not own a copy of the game as much as we own it on modern consoles anyway. But Stadia has a lot of... It's cool tech that has a lot of questions. I think a lot of them are aimed at Google.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, for me, this is really cool. I will probably not go in on it because it's a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th platform that I don't need to be buying video games on.
Right.
I will be waiting with bated breath for my preferred platform to announce theirs and show theirs off, which is the big green X. Like,
well, Microsoft showed off Cloud X the other day.
I saw the Forza on a phone thing, which was real impressive. And it's like, okay, does that work with all of my library that I currently own? Because I have too many games and not enough ways to play them, apparently.
By the way, Moonlight also found Forza Horizon 4 that I forgot I had installed on my machine, and boy, did that look really good. Another plug for Moonlight. What do you think, Monkey? I've been talking a lot.
I haven't really been like paying attention to it much, but yeah, it's same as Moon. Like, it's just another platform to play games on, and it's I probably won't go on it either.
I feel like it's not aimed towards us, quote unquote core gamers. It's like, I think we'd rather buy a disc or download and own a game as opposed to streaming it. I think people like us might almost use it, if it's cheap enough, might use it as like a demo. Where it's like, all right, let's see how the new Assassin's Creed plays. I'll play like maybe an hour or two. If I like it, then I can pick it up. But it doesn't seem too focused for us, which is good. If it gets more people playing games, that's great.
And did they announce like what versions of would you be like a PC version versus the Xbox or PS4 versions? Like for those multi-platform games.
I believe they are the PC versions. They talked about the platform itself a little bit. I think it was basically like you get your own mini PC to run it. Because I think that's when they were talking about couch co-op, where you have a couple of people sitting in like each part of the screen is another computer. So it's like if you have two people running, each person has their own instance, and that's basically a computer. So I think it's mostly PC games at this point.
Yeah, from what I understand, that's what I heard was like it was all essentially the PC version, but they're going to use their supercomputer cloud computing stuff to make it run. Like, that's why somebody who doesn't have the necessary budget to do it can have the 1080, 60, 4K, HDR, everything else, all the bells and whistles. Hit those graphics on ultra and then just smile and nod.
Right, exactly.
I only asked that question because, like, for exclusive DLCs, because that's a thing, unfortunately. It was like, what would they be getting? Because would they be getting the PC stuff? And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's all details that I'm hoping Google will announce at some point. Like, if you're going to sign a deal with with Ubisoft, because they've been showing Assassin's Creed Odyssey off a lot. Are you going to be getting any Uplay DLC? It's like a nightmare world we live in. But like, are you going to get any of the Uplay DLC? Like, do you get Assassin's Creed 3 in Liberation if you play it on Stadia? Like, there's all these questions that are sort of tough and nightmare questions.
We don't even know at this point if it's going to be a subscription service for the service and then the $60 fee to buy a game on that service.
Sure.
Or if it's going to be a Game Pass thing where it's X amount of dollars subscription service, these are the games you can play kind of thing.
Yeah, I hope it's the latter, as I feel like if it's $10 a month for a lot of people, that's probably a no-brainer, like Game Pass is. And just, all right, it's $10 and you can play whatever's on the service, right. We'll see if they move games in and out like Game Pass does or any of that. There's so many questions we have left, but at the very least, the tech looks cool. It's just now we got to nail down literally everything else.
Yeah. And like stuff like that bothers me because so it's a subscription service. We have a personal relationship with a musician who is on the streaming services, and we don't know the numbers, but it's widely known that you can have 100,000 listens to a song on a streaming service and get 5 cents back in total.
Right.
Is that going to affect then the marketing and the development budgets for these games going forwards?
I see. Right.
And then you're going to look at an already oppressive workspace in the video game industry potentially becoming worse when everybody this year should be talking about unionization, not having to worry about is if these services go forwards and are streaming, how much is going to go to the developers. That's, for me, that's the big question, is this going to negatively impact everything else?
Right, what's the cut and how hard is it to put it on the platform? Yeah, I mean, these are all really great questions. I mean, 2019 is an incredibly hard year already for developers, and the idea of putting on another unknown platform. I know they were at GDC to talk about Stadia directly to developers, but hopefully they came away from GDC sort of a little bit more optimistic. But I don't know. 2018 will be really interesting for Stadia in general.
Yep.
The only other huge thing that was announced at GDC is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 got announced. Pretty much a sequel I was sure we were never going to get. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines came out in 2004. It seems like most of the people who made the first one are coming back, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, and from what I understand, they didn't just show a pre-rendered video. They didn't give a thing, They had a demo ready of actual gameplay.
Yep. Yeah, I think they realized how much developers and fans are looking forward to a sequel to this game, so I think they did it right, being like, all right, here it is, and here's just a whole bunch of gameplay. It is an actual thing that exists.
Good on them for keeping them quiet. Everybody raves about Vampire the Masquerade. I've never played it.
Yeah, me neither, unfortunately.
I mean, I'll be interested. We'll see how it does. I played a different vampire game that I loved, so I'm sure I'll give the Masquerade version a try too.
Yeah. Masquerade : a little slurp. A little slurp 2, I'm sorry.
Yes.
A second slurp. Next news story, Sony has announced, stop the presses, State of Play, which they're going to be revealing PlayStation stuff all year round. It almost sounds like what Moon and I have been talking about for a year.
Yeah, so one might say they are trying to interact directly with the fans.
Boo! The hook is just coming to pull you off stage. Yeah, basically. The first episode is going to air on March 25th, so as soon as this episode comes out. And we've been talking about it for a while, but it's the right thing for them to do. Just get little announcements out throughout the... Nintendo has been incredibly successful with their directs. They just had an indie one where it's basically like, boom, here's a game. Oh, cool, it's out right now. Boom, here's a game. Hey, guess what? That's out too. Like 10 more games out coming out. 3 more coming out this year.
And the biggest game announcement of all time, but we'll get to that in its appropriate news section.
Yes, that is our last one. We've saved the best for last. But I think if they can do this well, Nintendo has done really well with theirs. Microsoft has had a really hard time exposing the fact that they do one. The ones they do are good. Major Nelson is I feel like you know how you feel about Major Nelson already. I think he's okay. But I think if Sony can get this stuff out there, promote it really well, get somebody good in front of the camera, then they'll probably do okay. But I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Is this going to be one of those things? People are going to give me issues because of my Microsoft love. I don't see a Sony State of Play, which, number one, good name. Good name, solid work.
Yep.
It's no direct, but solid work on the name. I don't see their thing taking over my Twitter timeline the way that the Nintendo Directs do.
Yeah, that would be hard to... That's what they want, but that would be hard to...
Yeah. Nobody can get the attention of the fans the way Nintendo can.
Yeah.
And whether you like them or hate them, Nintendo have that vociferous fan base that are just like nom 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 on everything that they announce.
Well, and it helps that everyone owns a Switch now. It's like where we were with the Wii. And, when the iPhone and Android first came out, it's the thing that everybody has. And I think when you look at the PS4, it would be pretty surprised if Sony had like a big announcement that was coming out tomorrow during the show. That
it's Death Stranding # not a real game.
God, that'd be great. And we're gonna finish up with one more thing. Death Stranding is out right now. It's just you want to take over a Twitter timeline. That's how you do
That's
it.
the way to do it.
Yeah, but the worst thing is that's not even Sony doing it. That's the Kojima factor. That's the Special K.
Yep.
He's the one doing that.
Yep. Yeah. I don't... The other thing, too, is like... even me as a Sony fan, I'm not really looking forward to much in 2019, so I'm having trouble thinking of what they would come out with during the show. So...
the weird flute thing.
The weird flute?
The one...
Dreams?
The one at E3 that had the pipe guy playing.
Oh,
the one that's not Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, the one that's the other one.
Tsushima Ghosts of something.
Yes.
Ghosts of Sushi.
Ghosts of Sushi.
Yeah, Ghosts of Sushi.
Yes.
Yep, that one. So I guess we'll see. And if we don't talk about it on the show next week, then I guess that's everyone's answer.
Yep.
You know what? Okay, never mind. I was just looking for the time. 1 p.m., I think.
Yeah. It's 1 p.m., so it's sort of smack in the middle of the day.
Hold on, 1 p.m. what time zone, folks? Because we're in America now. Right. This is nice
1 p.m. American moon.
Well, here is the question then. What is 1 p.m. American? Is that East Coast?
It's not 1 p.m. metric, that's for sure. America. I don't know. It's probably 1 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, 1 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
Is that East or West?
That's West. That's my time. So 4 p.m. for you.
Yeah. So yeah, I won't be able to watch it. Yeah. So that's fine.
Some of us are working, Sony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next news story, rumor, a little more firm rumor about Microsoft's diskless Xbox One S. I have to say that very distinctly. The rumored launch date is May 7th, 2019, and the rumored name is Xbox One S All Digital Edition.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that came to mind is Oops, All Digital.
Yep.
I'm
sorry. It's Simple. Xbox One D. Problem solved. Xbox One Digital Edition. Why put the S in there?
It just reminds me of the Xbox 360 arcade, where it's like, I have an arcade, I have a standard, I have an elite, I have this. You have like 4 models of them, and I know there's going to be some spreadsheet in a Best Buy saying like, here's what this one has, and this one doesn't have a disc, so you got to get the downloads. So the rumored to have a 1 terabyte hard drive inside, which that's sort of the minimum in 2019.
Yep.
And it will get bundled with Sea of Thieves, Minecraft, and Forza Horizon 3, but probably not a Game Pass subscription.
That's your biggest mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least put like 3 months in there. Something to wet the whistle.
I think the Xbox One X comes with a 1 month.
I'm pretty sure the
Pass?
Xbox One X does.
Yeah.
You're always doing specials of Game Pass for $1.
Yeah.
3 months for $1. Redeem the code that's in the box, so you get 3 months for $1. How many people are going to forget that? How many people are going to Netflix it and forget that they're signed up for it?
Yep.
Or even better, how many people are going to WoW it and forget that they're still paying for this service that they don't even realize they haven't used in 6 months?
I don't pay for WoW anymore. I'm happy to say I haven't paid for it for a couple of years.
When did you? And how long between your last playing of it and your last paying for it?
It was pretty quick because I think I left WoW in a huff. So it's very much like, I'm going to the website and I'm canceling my. I don't remember. It's one of those things where I paid for it for a while and hopped in every once in a while, and I was like, I think I'm done. I'm okay. Thank you, WoW. We shared good times. Speaking of good times, let's talk about February 2019's NPD numbers. We haven't done this in a while. I mostly wanted to talk about this because, hey, guess what the number 1 game was? Anthem.
Yep.
Wanted to share a little bit of good news about Anthem. Anthem is number 1. This does not include PC digital sales either, so who knows how many...
It has been spoken that it has one of the best digital releases that EA has ever had.
Yep. Yeah, this is the second best launch that BioWare has ever had. The number 1 slot is still Mass Effect 3. And this doesn't count not only PC sales, it doesn't count the EA Access Origin Premier, the $15 a month thing.
Yep.
So I think we've talked a lot about Anthem. There's a lot of doom and gloom about Anthem. Like, oh man, is EA going to stick with it? Like, what's going to... It clearly did pretty well already, so I think, as long as it can kind of stay on this level, at least for a little bit, we're probably going to be okay, but at least it didn't show up at like 20th spot. We're like, yep, nobody bought that. That's a real bad sign.
If Disney can realize they listened to the vocal minority and didn't listen to the majority, then EA can too. Keep the game developing. Thank you very much.
There you go. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yep. It's a Doug chat, I think you'll find.
Yeah, thank you.
I wonder how many...
go ahead.
How much of that was returned, though, at the same time?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's number 1 bought, but I wonder how much it has been returned.
Yeah. I also wonder how many people bought it physically. I feel like I didn't see a lot of physical sales as I feel like if you're going to buy games as a service game now, especially like a loot shooter, you're probably going to buy that digitally anyways.
Schluter, thank you.
Yes. Use his Christian name, Schluter.
Yes.
But yeah, I feel like that's a good question. NPD doesn't capture that. I'm sure EA wouldn't want those numbers out. We're like, we sold 100%. 2 million copies and 1 million got returned. Don't worry about that part, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a good question. That's something we never really see. And I did see that there was a research firm out there estimating the amount of money that it made EA. That's a pretty generous estimate, so I'm not sure I would put too much faith in that. It's not the company I used to work for, so who knows? I'd trust them. And last but certainly not least, the most surprising announcement that came out of this latest Nintendo Direct.
The best announcement of 2019, bar none. I don't care what Microsoft talks about at E3. I don't care what anybody talks about the rest of this year. This is the best announcement in video games for at least 2-3 years. Definitely the best in 2019.
So Nintendo announced Cadence of Hyrule. Most importantly, the full title is Cadence of Hyrule: Crypt of the Necrodancer, featuring The Legend of Zelda. So here's the history behind this is really interesting. Basically, Brace Yourself Games, the company that made Crypt of the Necrodancer, went to Nintendo and said, "Hey, can we license Link? We want to put him as a DLC character in Crypt of the Necrodancer. If we could do that, that'd be great. We'll do all the work on our end." And Nintendo said, "That's a really great idea. We want you to make Crypt of the Necrodancer into a Zelda game."
Yep.
And to say that this is unprecedented would be a gross understatement. I don't know the last time that Nintendo has given a huge tentpole IP to a Western developer. Sort of.
Can
Metroid Prime
we just say,
yeah,
thank you, Ubisoft.
Sure, yeah. Ubisoft probably opening the doors on that one.
Because they came up with the absolutely insane idea, because let's face it, we all think it was crazy. We all saw the announcement of Mario plus Rabbids.
Yes.
And we all thought,
look at this dumb thing.
Both of you companies are crazy.
Yep.
Then the game sells like hotcakes, is critically received fantastically well.
It's really good.
It's really good.
And then, lo and behold, we're getting more and more little nudge off of the mainline franchises to different developers. And I think number 2 or number 3, whatever this is in that, let's hand off our mainline franchises to other people.
Mm-hmm.
This is a solid choice.
It's like Sega giving Sonic Mania to those dudes that were making Sonic fan games. It's like, yeah, okay, those are the perfect people. Like, and I think the trailer wasn't super long, but man, it looks good, and it just, they take the bouncy, fun art style of Crypt of the Necrodancer, they put Zelda into it, and they remix 25 Zelda songs, smush them in there, and this is a day one for me.
Like, can I just say, like, when that trailer came out, I retweeted it and I wrote, "Thanks for the goosebumps."
Yeah.
Because literally that's exactly what happened. I saw everybody bounce about it on Twitter. I was like, okay, I'm going to load this up, see how it goes. The second that first yep, in the remix hits, I was like, goosebumps, thank you, I'm in.
Oh,
done.
it's the good stuff, right in my veins.
Oh.
Yeah. Monkey, did you ever play Crypt of the Necrodancer?
I have not yet.
Okay.
It's on my
well,
list,
now you can play this new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping, Moon and I talk about this a lot, about beginner roguelikes, and I feel like Crypt of the Necrodancer is an easy game to get into, and it's easy to play and tough to master.
Yes.
But if they can take Crypt of the Necrodancer and put Zelda stuff on it and pull the difficulty back just a little bit, I feel like that could be a really great starter roguelike.
Well, I mean, also, let's look at the character progression in Crypt. You've got the main person, very nice, easy transition through all of them. Then they add an extra twist with the harp as the second character. Then the extra twist with the, everything else. How many characters deep could they go to make this ridiculous?
Yeah.
Like,
they have a whole... they made a whole Warriors game for Legend of Zelda, so that all those characters put in this.
Yeah, that's true.
Ooh.
Like, just like name the top 5. You got Link, Zelda, Sheik, Agoran. The amount of people who you could like put into this art style and have their own different type of attacks. Like, I am 100% in with this, and my wife better get ready to give up that Switch.
Well, and even the title is really great, Cadence of Hyrule, because the main character in Crypt of the Necrodancer's name is Cadence. Like,
Cadence, yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, we could talk about this forever.
So great.
We'll talk about it forever when it comes out later this year. But, oh my god, it's so good.
When does Link's Awakening come out?
Late this year.
Okay, so definitely give up that Switch.
Yeah. Hopefully it's a 1-2 punch of, hey, there's a bunch of good Zelda stuff coming out.
Dude, what if they do a bundle?
End my life. Okay, Let's move on to questions, as if not, we're just talking about Zelda forever. T-Bomb Rocks in Discord says, with the news that Nintendo is letting the devs of Crypt of the Necrodancer use Link, it has me wondering, what other Nintendo characters would you like to see added to another game world?
I mean, the first thing I thought of when I saw the question was, I don't know if you guys know Monty Oum. He's a late animator. Yeah. But one of his first ones was called Haloid, and it was Samus fighting a Halo Spartan.
Oh, wow.
That animation was really cool. But like,
he also did the Dead or Alive versus Tekken Girls, didn't he? In their animation as well.
Dead Fantasy, yeah. But yeah, that's the first thing. Like Samus in the Halo world, I would kind of make sense because they're a bunch of aliens and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, both cool space fighters.
Yeah, it's not a bad shout actually.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Okay.
It's tough because like I don't want to pick Link and I don't want to pick Mario. Like I don't want to pick the main ones. Like what do I want Star Fox to be in? What should Slippy be in? You know, like Slippy and Viva Pinata.
Yeah, Slippy should be in Viva Pinata, number one. That's Slippy should be in the phone crossing game. That's right,
Crossy Road. Yep.
Yes.
I want to romance Slippy and Andromeda 2. Mass Effect Andromeda 2.
Honestly, if like I kind of want to go dark with it. Like I want to say Link, but I want to give me a Link, a Zelda game made by From. Give me a Dark Souls Zelda game where it's Hyrule, but it's twisted and it's so much darker. And
it's the Dark World from Link to the Past.
Yeah, and everyone always complains about, Toon Link is the worst Link. Number one, you're wrong.
Right.
And number two, do it in Dark Souls. Get From to make a really solid Zelda game and like their take on Hyrule if it was a Souls game.
That'd be cool. Yeah. What else? I feel like I feel like there's less options for Nintendo. It's not a bad thing, but it's they have less major tentpole releases.
Yeah, but I never thought Rabbids would work well with Mario, and look at that.
No, that's just the craziest thing. It's still crazy, and that game is great. T-Bomb Rocks also asked, with the announcement of Google Stadia, I was very excited about the possibility of the platform. That was until they showed the controller and it uses symmetrical thumbsticks. I plan on buying the Astro C40 controller for the PS4 at the end of the month, because you can swap the thumbsticks. Do you ever see a console SKU release that gives you a choice on type of controller or multiple controller designs?
No.
Probably not.
Yeah, it would be nice if... The thing is, like, it has to be hard because you have to make that choice at some point. Is it going to be symmetrical or asymmetrical? And then, do you want to add two... Do you want another SKU for them to support... You know, it's like if you have problems with one line of controllers, but the other line doesn't have one, like, it's a lot of trouble.
The problem as well is they always have to copyright and patent every single one of these things that they do.
Yep.
And it's the D-pad scenario. How long did Nintendo take that D-pad patent, snuggle it close to their chest, and say, nobody else gets a good D-pad
for
except
decades?
For us?
Well, what I'm hopeful in the end when Stadia launches is that this really isn't a concern for anything except for the TV version, the Chromecast one. I really hope that by the end they just let you pair a Bluetooth thing to the Chromecast and you just use whatever controller. Like, that's... Bring your own controller. If you don't have one, if you don't have any consoles at home, pick up a Chromecast bundle with the Google controller and then you're good to go. But I feel like if this is a question, if you're concerned about the controller, you probably already have another one at home.
Yep.
So, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful they hear people in the end, but we'll see. I guess I'm not expecting this thing to come out anytime soon. So,
I hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
I hope they get everything nailed down before they release it.
Yeah.
Actually, that's something we know. Boston,
Yes.
asymmetrical. Oh no, you like symmetrical.
I like symmetrical.
I'm asymmetrical.
Yep.
Monkey.
I don't think it could go either way because I use both consoles like evenly, or on the Switch. So,
Yeah.
I'm saying
I did see someone on Twitter complaining that they showed, because there's always the image of here's the Xbox controller next to the face buttons next to the switches, and they're all they're in different spots. Mm-hmm. I saw someone, I think seriously say this on Twitter. They put the Pro controller face buttons next to the Stadia ones and said, like, I can't believe Google would change up 3 decades of face button stuff with their controller. It's like, oh my god,
dude.
It's not the standard, guys. Like, there is no standard. That's the problem.
No, I wish we could all get over that. I wish we could, because it drives me crazy. If Sony could do me a favor and Sony could remove the X from the front of their controller, that would be great.
You just put something else there.
Change it to a star or a pentagram. I don't care. Change that button. Yeah. Give me a little hand button.
Yeah.
Because I play my PlayStation with my Xbox One controller because it doesn't give me RSI.
Right.
It's the one button that throws me off every single time.
The one button is share.
If it says square, I will hit like X on my Xbox controller. If it says X, I always hit the same button again. I hit X.
You're just too good at following directions. That's the problem.
My brain's controls have been remapped.
Yeah. Next question here is from BTG Inferno in Discord. Hey guys, hope all is well. Thank you. I was talking to a friend about BioWare being in a tough spot now that Anthem is getting refunded and bricking consoles. He seemed to disagree, which is fine. That brings me to my question. With Anthem being in so much trouble following Mass Effect Andromeda, I read BioWare lost a lot of money and fan base. Do you think this caused BioWare to take a big enough hint to stunt the production of their new Dragon Age iteration, or do you think BioWare has enough money and clout to pull out of this downward spiral they're in? Love the show, guys. Thank you for all you do.
Dragon Age took a hit. I think it's all but being confirmed at this point that at one point production on Dragon Age stopped so that everybody could work on Anthem.
Yeah, and I think after Inquisition, which I think Inquisition sold really well and was critically reviewed okay, I think fans really loved it. I love Inquisition.
I haven't played Inquisition yet. I played 1, 2. Does the intro to Inquisition rank as one of the best start of a games ever, based on that moment you hit the start button?
Yeah, I mean, the moment he hits the start button is really good. It's not going to beat Mass Effect 2, though. Mm-hmm. Like, Mass Effect 2's first 15 minutes is just like, hey, this seems cool. What, my ship blowed up. Whoops, I died. That's a win.
I don't want to say anything because that Inquisition it's a great moment when you start playing that game.
Yeah, especially since I started when I was sleepy and I was like, all right, let's start this, and just everybody dies. And it's like, okay, cool, this is how we're starting. All right. I think Dragon Age is in a really tough spot because I think, let's say it again, Mass Effect Andromeda was not a bad game. Memes took over and destroyed that game for no good reason.
Yep.
Mass Effect, Dragon Age Inquisition was a good game that had a lot of little problems, like scanning for herbs was a pain in the butt. You need to leave the hinterlands, for the love of God. Like, there's so many problems in that game that I don't think made it a bad game. And I think Moon is right. A lot of these studios are going to have, all hands on deck. We got to finish Anthem. All right, now you guys are going to go back to whatever the next Dragon Age is going to be. It's just going to take a little bit longer to come out, and who knows what that's going to look like. I think it'll still come out, but I don't think that's going to come out anytime soon.
No.
Probably not until 2021, I don't think.
I don't want to say this, but honestly, at this point, it wouldn't surprise me if the Dragon Age was a next-gen console.
Sure.
A next gen game.
Yeah, like a launch game for whatever comes next. Yeah. I don't think that'd be a bad idea.
How much money does Ubisoft make year after year by being at the launch event for every single console ever released?
They do a split
Not
release.
to mention, they just made Just Dance 2019 for the Wii.
Yes, the regular Wii, not the Wii U. Yeah. Yeah, that's not a bad point. I don't think anyone is really clamoring that much for a new a Dragon Age game, Dragon Age game, because I think we know it's coming, but I'm curious to see what that's gonna be. Because every game has been so different that I don't know what a new Dragon Age game would be. It's sort of scary.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. I mean, did you play any of the Dragon Age games, Monkey?
I did not. I actually, I've barely played any BioWare games in general. I have a couple hours here and there, and the Mass Effects. But yeah.
So Dragon Age 1, it was old school. It was
PC
Icewind Dale,
RPG.
Baldur's Gate. Pause the game, choose your actions. That's how it was most effectively played. Dragon Age 2 was much more action focused. It was much more button inputs and immediacy kind of thing. And then Inquisition was this weird hybrid of them both.
Yeah.
And was the first Dragon Age on the Frostbite engine, so it was huge and beautiful and a massive open world game that had The Witcher too much stuff kind of written all over it.
Yes.
So it's what are they going to do with this one? Are we going to be looking at the same again, or are we going to be looking at them retooling the whole thing all over again?
I think for me, primarily as someone who's a big fan of the games, literally all they need to do is, one, it needs to be playable at a minimum, and two, they need to continue the story from Inquisition. That's it. They left Inquisition off on such a huge cliffhanger that's so cool. If they don't continue that, there's going to be riots in the street.
Riots in the streets or riots in the Dragon Age streets? Because, come on.
Yeah, it's true. But, I mean, the teaser trailer they put out for the next game addresses that ending, so I'm confident that they will, but, they really need to. Man, that ending was so good. Whew. Yeah. Continuing on, Timid Hulk in Discord says, hi guys, I have little people in my life, ages 3, 6, and 7. They love games and love watching me game too. My question to you is, do you have any suggestions for games I can enjoy that are semi-appropriate for the kids to absorb or even play? They enjoyed watching the PS4 Spider-Man, as well as some of the LEGO games. I think my problem now is choice overload with multiple years of gold backlog and all Game Pass has to offer. I just saw someone tweeting that apparently they've been having fun playing with Baba Is You with their kids, that new puzzle game that came out. I think it's on Switch as well. If you haven't seen Baba Is You, basically you're manipulating a sentence on screen to manipulate the environment. So it's kind of a cool out-of-the-box puzzle game.
Visual coding is how I've heard it described.
Yes, that's a really good way of putting it, yeah.
Sounds fun.
What else?
I would say anything published by Nintendo. Any Mario game, any Zelda game, any, I guess, Metroid game, whenever that comes out.
Yeah,
depending on your backlog and your patience for it, Viva Pinata 1 and 2, I will always recommend.
Yes.
Yeah, because even if they're not old enough to play the game, it's still really fun to just kind of fart around in that world. And dig up stuff and make rivers and deserts and stuff.
And it's just like Pokemon as well, where it's surface layer is really cute and amazing, and then you go 17 layers deep and you're just how far down does this rabbit hole go for finding everything?
Yeah, I'm breeding worms now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
that's a good suggestion.
Game Pass as well.
I believe so. Yeah.
Maybe.
I think the Rare Collection might be on Game Pass. Yeah. Boy, what else? The problem is like 360 and Xbox One catalog is real big.
Yeah, all of them are real big. I know what's perfect for kids to watch. Yakuza 0. I'm just kidding.
There you go.
Do not play that game.
Learn about loyalty.
Yes.
The empty lot. I feel like my go-to answer was sort of ripped away from me because he said that the kids already love the Lego games. Probably because I love the Lego games a lot.
That's because the Lego games are amazing.
They are.
Monkey, Lego games, yay, nay.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Thumbs up for Monkey.
Sorry.
I don't know. This is tough for me because my kid is 2 years old and change, so she doesn't really care a lot. She'll pick up her controller and like help me play a game every once in a while, but she's not really watching it. So I'm not at that point yet.
Crash Remastered, Spyro Remastered, Crash Team Racing when that eventually comes out. There's 3 widely regarded fantastic games that are perfectly suitable.
Spyro's probably easier than Crash. I'd recommend Spyro. Crash can be a little punishing.
100% Spyro is easier than Crash. Come on.
I'm trying to think of any more games like that we know are good. Ratchet and Clank, the one for PS4. That was really good. The like movie thing.
Knack
2 maybe. That's a co-op game. Knack 2. That might be okay. There isn't a meme about Knack 2, so maybe it's okay.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if I have a lot of games here. I have like Darksiders Rise.
You know what? Darksiders might not be a bad shout, depending on what you feel. Because I would be fine showing Darksiders to a kid, because it's mostly mythical / fantastical things. There's very few human stuff in there.
It depends on the maturity of your kid, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also your stance on religion.
Yeah. Forza Horizon?
Yeah,
maybe.
Racing games in general.
Usually pretty good.
That has really good... actually, that one has really good assists, because you can even do... For your younger kids, you can do auto-steering, auto-braking, and a lot of...
You just reminded me, I've played that game with T-Bomb Rocks, who actually does this for his kids, and he puts all the assists on. But the problem with the assists is they can be very, very aggressive. Like, the auto braking and the auto turning can be super aggressive. And T forgot that he had them switched on, and then he started playing, and then I was wondering why he was so horrifically bad at the game.
It's like minutes behind everyone.
It's auto braking, and then he's trying to automatically he's trying to turn, and the auto turn is doing something different to him. Really, so it was hilarious.
Yeah, Forza Horizon 4 is on Game Pass now. That might be fun. Yeah, maybe that'll be my recommendation. Anyone else have anything before we move on?
No, I think Monkey got the best of it with anything with the Nintendo logo in front of it.
And then put on Viva Pinata. You're good.
Yep.
Last set of questions here is from Maximus Prime. So Google announced Stadia, and I'm beyond excited because I'm a huge Google fan. But as time goes by, I'm starting to get concerned. What does this mean for everything video games? What does it mean for hardware, disc, digital development? If this launches and works as they say it does and everyone loves it, what happens to Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, and even Steam and the Epic Store? I know these are broad questions, but if you haven't talked about it these ways, I'd love to get your thoughts.
Good question, Mac. We hope that Google has the answer eventually.
And I think this is... I'll use my Netflix analogy again, that I feel like this is just another market to be served. Like, I'll still buy discs because I like having a disc that if a game gets delisted, it doesn't get pulled away from me. I can still pop the disc back in my console. There are people like Moon, like you like getting digital games because then you just have this giant, overwhelming collection.
Also, we get 2 for the price of 1.
Yeah, and like library sharing, that helps a ton. And I'm sure there are a ton of people that want to play games, and I think this is the market that's going to get served by Stadia and CloudX and whoever else does this. that don't want a console in their living room. They don't want to have to worry about dashboard updates and game patches and all this stuff. They just want to grab a controller or play it on their phone and just start the game and not have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're just seeing another market that isn't being served by going to a store or picking up a console on Amazon for hundreds of dollars and then playing a game off of it, you know. And I think...
Honestly...
Yeah.
I am most interested to see what this type of service, this streaming service, if done right, I want to see what this does to the Japanese market. Because the Switch sells like hotcakes in Japan. The PlayStation 4 sold well, but not as well as it could. We all know Microsoft's consoles don't do well over there.
Yeah, they just don't sell.
It was the home of the Vita. It was the home of the Switch.
And the PSP.
What happens... And the PSP. What happens when you throw... You can play these games on your phone in that marketplace. And if Microsoft makes it out there, there is a chance that they could have a very solid market in Japan for the first time ever.
Sure.
Because they don't have a giant brick that they're trying to sell.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because I think that's been one of the reasons why Fortnite has continued to be so popular, is because people can play it on the thing they carry around all the time. You know, like the more stuff you can squeeze into the phone that you're already carrying around, then the better. So that's a good point. Yeah. That might be...
Yeah. Honestly, we don't know.
Yeah.
That's the problem with this is not just video games, but the world itself is in such a condition of flux at the moment. Everything seems to be changing on a daily basis. Like, the standards for everything seems to be changing constantly. And video games have the potential with their tech-based environment to be massively successful or a huge flop and a big waste of money. Like,
right.
We won't know until we actually get there is the problem.
Yeah. But at the very least, the tech looks cool, and I think if any company can get the tech right, and throw a stupid amount of money at it, it's probably Google.
Yeah.
Along with Microsoft. You know, both of them are happy to dump a bunch of money until something gets right.
I mean, what does 5G do to this as well? That's the big question.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great question. Yeah.
Like, I might live in the middle of the country in America with two neighbors who each live 20 miles away from me in different directions.
Right.
But I've got a cell phone that's got 5G, and look at that, there's cell towers all over the country as it is. Mm-hmm. So I can get the same speed that most people would be able to get on an actual wired network. Is that what they're waiting for? Is that what they're hoping for these people who they can't service in more traditional ways?
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough because there's just so many unknowns at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you, everyone, for sending in your questions. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us on the right-hand side of the page. patreon.com/E1M1 for all your cool behind-the-scenes, early access, exclusive episodes, all that stuff. Game Club, we're rocking with Super Hot, which would still have like 3 weeks for, so you still have plenty of time. I haven't even started it because I think
it's like 4 weeks, dude, because it's the third week of next month and we haven't hit the last Friday of this month.
Right,
yet.
yeah, so there's a lot of weeks in this month.
March.
I keep telling my wife, I keep thinking I've been really good at remembering it's 2019. I have not been very good remembering it's not February anymore. I don't know why that's happening.
The bright side is, at least now I know what this March Madness that everyone keeps talking about is.
Yes.
It's how many weeks there are in this month.
That's right.
What it is.
Yep. The true March Madness. It's forever long. Oh, man. And I think that's it. Thank you, Monkey, for joining us for this week. Yeah. We'll have you on for a couple more weeks here in the future. And we'll see everyone next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I have a lot of titles.
I got a couple. Monkey, you got any titles?
Nope, I haven't been writing them down.
That's okay. Won't throw you all the way to the wolves at the beginning.
No, don't worry. You don't have to worry about titles for now. In the future, I'm watching. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, me first, Boston.
Yes, please.
Swipe right for heaven. Wet solid splatter.
Yes.
Argue with myself. A second slurp, or the alternative, Masquerade, do a little slurp. Hate the fact that this one was so good. The Special K. Ghosts of Sushi. 1 p.m. American. And Give Up Dat Switch.
I have You Are a Reaper. Swipe left for heaven, swipe right for hell. Which is too long, but it's good. I Sent Doctor Who to Hell.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Swinging the Church, Wet Solid Splatter, which I'll veto out of hand. A Second Slurp, which I really like. Ghosts of Sushi, I really like. I Want to Romance Slippy. And 1 p.m. American. I like both A Second Slurp and Ghosts of Sushi.
Honestly, for me, it's got as much as I love the Special K. For me, 1 p.m. American gets it for me because you said that with such indignation in your voice. It was so great.
Monkey, what are you voting for?
I don't know. I kind of like Ghost of Sushi just because I said it.
It's really good.
It is.
I don't know.
I think we'll go with Ghosts of Sushi. 1 p.m. American is really good.
I just can't believe the reaction I got from you on Special K because you almost lost it. It was great.
We'll circle Ghosts of Sushi. So that one's really good. Okay. Starting in.
Hold on. No.
Okay,
no.
sorry.
I'll do that.
I thought you were ready. I thought you were ready.
Give me time to think.
Okay.
I'm not a comedy genius. I can't just click my fingers and have magic.
9 times out of 10, you whip out something real good.
That's
I
what
have
she
to do
said.
this too, don't I?
Yes, you do.
You are welcome to, yeah.
To the chaos.
No pressure, but...
No pressure. You don't have to if you don't want to. Okay, I got one.
Monkey, you think of anything?
Sure.
Okay. Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 596 from March 25th, 2019. Ghosts of Sushi.
California style, like Boston.
Ooh.
All right, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Apologies for the Skype issues. Skype sucks. Sorry.
Skype's gonna Skype.
Yeah, Skype's gonna Skype. I don't know what to do. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
And we can stop recording.